Howdy, with this video I want to go over how to complete journals 1 through 3 and also go over the first essay assignment. Make sure you see how those two are related and what I'm looking for with each one. Just to look at the schedule real quickly, we're doing this video on Wednesday, January 20th. So for tomorrow, the introduction paragraph and the syllabus quiz are due to me. Also, you get to meet the co-requisite counterpart of Joanne Shell and her class and get going on that as well. For the 25th, journals 1 through 3 are due to me. That's what I'm about to go over. And then on Thursday, the first two paragraphs of the self-regulated learner essay are due to me. And basically with these paragraphs, I'm making sure you're on the right track. If all of a sudden you're writing a paragraph about how your cat threw up on your carpet, I'm going to be like, whoa, you seem to have taken a left turn. We want to make sure you're headed in the right direction before you write the entire full draft. That full draft is due to Ms. Shell on Monday, February 1st. So everything's going to start moving here, right? But for the journal entries, the idea of the journals is they're there to get you ready for the essay, to get you thinking about some of the topics within the essay. And they are located on the content page for the course. You'll come over here to journal entries, and you'll just see one single link there for journal entry prompts. I'll make that a little bit bigger. But these are free writing exercises. I'm not going to grade them on English or every little grammar error, something, all that kind of silly stuff, which aren't so silly when we get to the essays. But for these, it's free writing. You want to pretty much go as fast as you can. It should be legible English, but it doesn't have to be perfect English. And you're just going to address each one of these questions, each one of these prompts, in at least 150 words. You can go over the word limit, but don't go under it because then you start losing points. So a lot of this I'm just going to grade on whether or not you make the word count, right? And you're responding to the actual prompt, not just going off on a tangent. But the first one, how do you develop ideas for your essays? What techniques do you use to flesh out your ideas? Do you do the clustering, the bubble mapping? I can never do the bubble mapping and draw the lines. That drove me nuts. I'm an outline person. Just some other questions. And basically, we're kind of getting ready for that self-regulated learner essay, which talks about how you might be a good student and how you might be able to improve as a student, right? What kind of environment do you write in? What kind of music do you listen to music? Does writing come easy to you? Some people just sit there and have a good old time, and I don't do that. I'm like, and I'll delete half of what I've already got and get mad and stuff. But everybody has their own style and has their own technique. For the second one, I want you to watch a video. You should be able to click on that link.
Carol Dweck is one of the world's leading researchers in the field of motivation, and she's the Lewis and Virginia Eden Professor of Psychology.
It's going to take us back, yeah. Then I want you to discuss the video. You don't have to agree with everything in it. Sometimes some of these ideas can be taken too far by educators. But hopefully they kind of make sense. And again, it's kind of getting you ready for this first essay that's coming up. Then the third one, you're going to do a reading. Hope you can click on that link. Takes you to the self-regulated learner reading. Not the most thrilling thing you'll ever read in your life, but some good ideas about how being a good student is not an accident. It's a deliberate practice of learning how to do certain things and keep improving as you go along. And that's what that reading is going to get into. I'll go straight back. Yeah. So those are journals 1 through 3 right there. You want 150 words, at least 150 words on each one. And again, you're showing me you've read the prompt, thought about it, but again, you want to go kind of as fast as possible, just kind of get you loose and get you moving with the writing. To see what it should look like, I'd prefer all of these in one document. So here, the students are done just using the formatting we did for the introduction paragraph. Just kind of get used to that. We're going to be using that all semester. Just kind of make that second nature. It's got her last name, page number up in the header. But then journal number 1, and away she goes, right? If you want to check how many words you got, you can highlight it, and it'll show you down here in the lower left-hand corner. I think you have to click on a couple of things in Google Docs to find the word count, but it's on there too. Make sure you have 150 words with each one. You can see there's 181, so she's completing the assignment. And you can see she's responding to the readings and the viewings and the prompts for number 1 there. There she has 151 words. She's obviously getting a little tired as she's going, getting a number 3, but she made the word count, and everything's looking good there. And hopefully you can just do all this in one document, and you complete this and put it in the Dropbox like you did the introduction paragraph in the syllabus quiz. But again, the journals are designed to get you ready for the first essay. You want to kind of try and get the mindset of I need to go as fast as I can. Go, 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 go. Don't get stuck on anything. It's fine to say I don't quite understand what somebody said here, and keep going. But show me you've did the viewing or the reading or responded to the prompts and make the word count. You'll be good to go. Alrighty, for the essay, if you want to pause the video, this is a good place to pause while you get to the essay. But the essay is on the content page. Oh, I got my. Let me get that back down to 100% there. We're going to go over here to essay assignments. And the self-regulated learner essay is the first one right there. I'm going to try and download that. There it goes. But this one's going to be a basic 5-part essay. You might have done those in high school or sometime in the past. If not, good time to learn. You're going to write a 700-word minimum 5-paragraph essay employing MLA formatting that analyzes any 3 of the profile points. You're going to see it's coming straight from that reading for journal number 3 of a self-regulated learner. That is hard to say. As they apply to you. So you're writing about yourself. You're not trying to tell the reader how they can be a better student or a better self-regulated learner. You're telling us why you're a good self-regulated learner, or some ways you might improve on being a self-regulated learner. The points are given below, and again, they're just copied straight off of that reading you're doing for journal number 3. My suggestion is to pick maybe a couple things you're good at, maybe one you need to work on, or maybe one you're good at and 2 you need to work on. Kind of mix it up a little bit. Don't do all 3 bad ones, because then you're kind of getting down on yourself a little bit. But you want to make sure you're staying focused on your experiences with the points and how you handle that particular point. And again, those points are right there. You got to read through those, and you got to notice not everybody's generally good at all these. We all have our weak spots. But you want to kind of read through that list and figure out which 3 you can develop. You're going to have 3 body paragraphs, one on each one of your points. So which 3 points can you get a paragraph on each with? So, and that's kind of more up to you there, right? But if you kind of think about yourself as a student, you might also think about employment and things like that. If somebody's not intrinsically motivated to learn or do the work, it's a struggle to work with them. It's a struggle as a student if you can't get yourself motivated and know why you're in a classroom, right? Sometimes that takes long-term planning, so you can kind of see the goal. But are you able to get yourself motivated and get the work done? How good are you at planning and organizing work? That was always a struggle for me. Quite often my assignments, particularly in high school, my assignments would go back and forth across the floorboard of my pickup truck, and I never knew where anything was. And I was not a particularly good high school student. My grades showed it. So that might be something I would discuss, saying, hey, here's what I do now, but here's what I could do to improve on this and be a better self-regulated learner by doing a better job of planning and organizing my work. Now that I'm on the other side of the classroom, I have to stay organized, right, or things fall apart. And just kind of read through them. Are you good at controlling your learning environment? I now have 3 teenagers in the house, and it can get a little loud, and sometimes finding time and a place to get work done can be a challenge. That's something I could also work on. Are you good at adjusting strategies, attributing failures to ineffective strategies? I'm bad for that. I'll do the same thing over and over and over and just get madder and madder and madder and madder and madder and madder. And finally, one of my kids will probably say something like, "Why don't you just do it like that?" And I'll be like, "Shut up!" Then eventually I'll calm down and go like, "Okay, I'm not attributing my failures to ineffective strategies. I need to change what I'm doing to improve my outcomes." But you can see all these. Are you good at seeking help or asking questions? Do you attribute your success to personal ability and effort, or is it just dumb luck? But you're going to pick 3 of these. And the way the essay is going to work is the first 4 paragraphs are going to be at least 150 words. Your concluding paragraph is going to be at least 100 words, and that's where the 700-word minimum word count is coming from. You can go over that word count, but don't go under. Are you going to start losing points? You're going to define either growth mindset or self-regulated learning and put that source on the works cited space. That source is just coming from journal number 2 or number 3, whichever one kind of piqued your interest. I want you to try these punctuation. There's a handout there on the help resources. Once you use 5 uses of figurative language and avoid just don't use you, or it. You're not telling the reader how they're a better self-regulated learner or could be. You're telling us what your experiences are with some of these ideas and how they might help you. The way the essay is going to work, and I'm going to go to the sample essay up here on help resources. Again, I'm still on the content page. And we're going to come down to help resources. And the sample self-regulated learner essay is right there. I'm going to download this again. And again, I've annotated this a bit to show you kind of what I'm liking about the essay, and maybe some things that the writer could work on. This was a dual enrollment student at Sullivan Central, so I kind of made a little comment on the side. There's like, this is why you kind of be like, why is this a high school paper? It's like, well, no, this was a college student doing dual enrollment at Sullivan Central. Notice the formatting correct. We're going to work on titles as we get closer to the final version of the essay. But in the first paragraph, you want to introduce yourself, particularly your history as a student. Are you a good student, go-getter, or always achieving and doing the best you can, or were you more like me in high school, where you just did enough to keep your mother off your back and keep your driver's license and access to a car? Like I said, I was not a good high school student. It wasn't until I was probably a sophomore in college where I really had to reevaluate myself and be a better self-regulated learner. But you want to give us some history. It's an introductory paragraph, so you want to introduce yourself, particularly as a student. If it's been a while since you've been in high school, kind of talk about that. Hopefully you haven't been in a coma. You've been working and probably learning some of these skills in the workplace that may be helping you now as you're coming to college. But kind of giving us a sense of who she is as a student, what some of her goals are maybe. Here she goes ahead and defines self-regulated learning. Again, you need to define either growth mindset or self-regulated learning in your essay. I'm happy with just a short quote with quote marks around it. She got a little fancy here and did a summary or paraphrase, but you still have to cite it. Just use the first word on your works cited space for the citation. Again, we'll go over that a little bit as we kind of get the drafts done and start having to worry about stuff like that. But she does a good job of introducing herself as a student, kind of giving us a little information about self-regulated learning. Now she's ready to give her thesis statement. Thesis statement is your one-sentence statement that tells us what your essay is going to be about. In this 5-part essay, this 5-paragraph essay, pretty formulaic. So your thesis is going to pretty much say, to keep being a good self-regulated learner, I need to do these things, or to be a better self-regulated learner, I need to do these things. And you can kind of see that's what she's done there. As a self-regulated learner, I've become successful at planning and organizing my work, controlling the learning environment around me to reduce distractions, and asking questions until I'm sure that I've learned the material. So the thesis is going to give those 3 profile points, so we know exactly where this essay is going to be headed. And again, you might want to mix yours up. You might want to say, hey, I need to continue doing these 2 things really well, but I need to maybe work on this 3rd thing. You can mix it up a little bit if you want. Generally, the essay works better if you mix it up, I think. But she has a nice, clear thesis. She's going to talk about planning and organizing her work, and that's exactly what she does in this paragraph. And if you ever met this student, she had a planner on day 1. She was very, very organized. In fact, if I changed the due date or something, she'd kind of roll her eyes because she had to erase everything in her book and change what she had written to suit my needs, right? Which frustrated her a little bit, but that's life sometimes. But she goes through the paragraph and discusses how she plans and organizes her work. Try and be as specific as possible. She keeps a planner. She has sticky notes. They're probably color-coded, and that's what she starts getting into there. She has all her information separately for each class, so it's just not all in one big book bag. Teacher goes, you have that assignment, and you're like going through there for 30 minutes trying to find that one piece of paper. she's, and she's saying, hey, this is what I do. This works well for me. If you're going to talk about something you're not particularly good at, you might tell us, here's what I do right now, and it's not working, and here's what I could do in the future if I wanted to become a better self-regulated learner in terms of this profile point. But you're going to see in the next paragraph, she's going to talk about controlling the environment. Particularly with high school students, their phones can be, once they start buzzing, it's hard to keep focused on what you're writing and things like that. But she's going to tell us, here's what I do to maintain my environment and keep myself focused. Try and be as specific as possible about with details. Don't just say I listen to music. Tell us what kind. Do you have to have that thrash metal banging in your ears to drown out everything else? Do you need quiet, instrumental music? Whatever you're doing to control the learning environment, you want to give as in precise detail as possible. And hopefully you can kind of see where this is headed. Then the last paragraph is going to be about asking questions to make sure she understands what's going on. You'll see a couple of complaints over here. I'm kind of complaining that her paragraphs are ending a little suddenly. Maybe some of the details could be fleshed out a little bit. Then in the conclusion, you want to kind of give us the big picture. How are self-regulated learning skills going to help you, what in your future as a college student here at Northeast State and beyond? How's it going to help you in your chosen field? And you may talk about, hey, I want to be a nurse and I better get my act together. You don't want a disorganized nurse coming into your room, throwing pills at you. So, how's that going to help you in the future? Don't just restate what you've already said in your essay. This is not a speech class. That's kind of what we're taught in speech. You might have been taught this with the 5-part essay in high school, but you're kind of building towards this conclusion when you're writing, and you want to make sure you take us kind of beyond what you've already said and give us some kind of context. How are these skills going to help you later on in life? If you're a parent, you might talk about I have to apply these skills to keep my kids in line, because if I'm not organized, my kids are going to be out of control. Might be a way to go. It kind of depends on your life and what you're looking to do and what you've done, obviously. Works status page. I'm going to show you exactly what to put here. Basically, you just telling us which source you're using from journal entry number 2 or journal entry number 3 in your essay. And again, don't forget she used that in the first paragraph to define self-regulated learning. And when you use a source, you have to tell us where that information comes from. And I'll give you, whichever one you choose, journal entry number 2 or number 3 to work with, I will show you exactly how to do that on the works side. But that's what the 5-part essay is about. Some students like this formula because they can kind of know what goes in each paragraph. Other students are like, how are you trying to put the genie back in the bottle with this? It's hard to limit myself to just these kind of 5 paragraphs. But we're going to move beyond the 5-paragraph essay with future essays. That's a good tool to have in your arsenal when it comes to writing. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Obviously, there's going to be questions once you start writing, and we're going to talk more about developing paragraphs and things like that once we start looking at maybe your first 2 paragraphs. It's hard to talk about things you haven't written yet until students don't have context when I talk about it. But if you have any questions, be sure to let me know, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.